All right, there we go. Hey, everybody, this is Tyler Bell. Come to you live through the power of the internet. I'm Boogie2988. Nah, I'm just kidding. Hey, everybody. It's vacation. Oh my God, man, I have been so overworked on my vacation. It's been crazy. But yeah, I'm coming in. I'm gonna bring you guys some exclusive content today, as you may have seen in the little thing up there or down there. I can't ever remember where the names of the titles of videos are in these platforms. But yeah. So today I want to tell you about the Squirrel serial killer, which is one of these things I'm going to do. Just a true life horror story. Just real scary things that have actually happened. And I don't know what I'm going to do for all of them. I don't have that many true life scary stories. I've got a few, but not that many. Not enough to keep doing this indefinitely for like 80 years. But yeah, as an occasional fun thing, especially in the off season, especially for my Patreons, I think I can give you guys this one. And the irony is this isn't even one of my own scary stories. This happened to a friend of my girlfriend Sam's, who she works with. So just to jump right into it and set the scene for you, this girl's name is, or we'll call her Beth, because it's close enough to her real name, and I don't want to use her real name. Why not? Anyway, so Beth is a huge fan of squirrels. She's like people have things that they like. They collect things. Everyone knows a cat person and a dog person. Beth is a squirrel person. So this story takes a dark turn for her fairly quickly. And it starts with her coming down out of her apartment building, for work in the morning. It's like probably 9:30, 10 a.m. When she's heading off to go to work. They start like closer to the middle of the day. And her apartment building is one of these square types, Okay, so the courtyard's right here, and it's like it's a U-shaped building. And you've got rooms on each side. The courtyard's in the middle. And in the middle of the courtyard is a nice picturesque little like oak tree or whatever, with branches that go up, and the whole tree fills out the space inside the courtyard. It goes all the way to the windows. And so she's more than once or twice seen, squirrels will come up and check out her window and stuff, and she loves it because she's a squirrel person. This is great. So she goes downstairs one day and she finds a man standing in the middle of the courtyard. And he's got like a big steel canister with him, with a hose attached and a long thin metal sprayer on the end. And she's kind of like, oh, okay, I've never seen this guy in the courtyard before. It's not a huge apartment complex. Everyone kind of knows each other. You've at least seen everyone, particularly a large man walking around with metal spray cans. And as she watches him, he walks up to one of the trees where these squirrels are. And these squirrels live around people, so they're not particularly nervous. You won't get in closer than 4 feet to them, but anything after that, they'll just be like, all right, whatever, dude, I know I'm faster than you. So he kind of just reaches out with this sprayer, and he presses the button, and a mist comes out, and he sprays this squirrel and paralyzes it with this spray. And Beth is like, oh my. And she's like, what just happened? Was it poison or something? But the squirrel is stuck on the tree, and it won't move. And it's like this, like it's got a little bit of a vibration going to it. And this actually did happen. And the guy goes up and he takes the squirrel and pries it off the tree. It's little tiny squirrel claws are still stuck in the bark, so you can imagine there's like little chipping noises as the wood cracks away underneath its fingers. Maybe there's a few scraps stuck with it. And I guess the guy kind of just looks at Beth and then walks away. And she, totally justifiably, is horrified. She just calmly backs back into her apartment and calls the police. And she's like, there's a guy with a spray canister, like poisoning squirrels or something in our courtyard. And this is Louisville, Kentucky, where we live. And she finally goes back outside after she calls the police and kind of looks around. You know, the police probably ask the standard questions. You know, is he still there? Is he sad? Are you safe? Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, yeah, I'm fine. But the squirrels are they're not fine. So she goes back outside. After a little bit, the guy's nowhere to be seen, but the squirrels are there. And she goes and she finds that there's 3 little, like, pieces of paper, right, next to the roadway. And I guess this is kind of like a little bit more of a suburban type roadway, so, you know, it's not a super popular pass-through area. And it's the embankment, or what do you call it, where there's just a little bit of grass after the sidewalk before the road, if you're familiar with how roads work. I don't know. It doesn't look like that everywhere in America or the world. But in this case, yeah. So there's this little bit of grass, and there's 3 pieces of paper, and there's a squirrel on each piece of paper, like laid out, and they're like twitching and frozen, and they're all fucked up. And so she's like, what the fuck? And like, what the fuck is going on? And you know, they're basically dead by the time the police arrive. And the police do arrive, and they treat her like she's fucking insane. She tells them this story where she's like, there's a guy with a fucking murder canister spraying fucking my little tree rats to death. Officer, what are you going to do about it? We need to launch an investigation, which I agree with. Even if squirrels aren't particularly important, there shouldn't be people walking around spraying paralytics onto fucking rodents, apropos of nothing. And the police officer just treats poor Beth like she's a fucking idiot. And he's like, okay, no. What the fuck? So while they're having this conversation, another woman who has actually been watching some of this through her window, you know, she's one of the quiet, busybody types, old people who, real talk, these are the motherfuckers that keep neighborhoods safe. If you are an older person, 65 to 85, retired, well, even older too, but retired, and you just sit by your front window looking outside all day, keeping track of shit, you are the reason your neighborhood's safe. You might not even realize it. But y'all motherfuckers just looking around, see something, saying something, dude. You guys, you're making the world go around. But so this lady comes outside and she talks to the officer. She's like, "What's going on here? Is she telling you about the squirrel serial killer going around?" And the cop's like, "What?" And she's like, "I saw him too." And she's like, "You're taking down a report, right?" And they both gang up on this fucking police officer and like make him file a report. To add insult to injury, animal control shows up, and the animal control guy that they send out to take care of the squirrels is a fucking idiot. And he comes out and they're like, what can you do about this? And he's like, I'm animal control. Like, I just remove the animals. Like, I'm not a fucking animal cop. Which I guess maybe that's what they thought was going on. But, so he and the cop talk it out, and the guy's like, well, we didn't have anyone spraying for squirrels in this area, and like I guess they did a little bit of research, and there's no one authorized to be spraying for squirrels, and that's not something people fucking do. You don't spray for squirrels. Like, if you're not from North America and you don't know anything about squirrels, because I know they're not everywhere, you just leave them alone. They don't spread disease. They only eat fucking shit outside. They hate going even like onto people's houses most of the time. They don't fuck with you. Squirrels are the best animal ever. They're there to be looked at and ignored completely. Maybe if you're a fucking acorn farmer, if that's a thing, you'll hate squirrels, but otherwise no one gives a fuck about them. There's no reason to do anything to a squirrel. Like, I've never even fucking heard of somebody removing a squirrel unless it was hurt or something of that nature. But this fucking guy was going around spraying them. And so they're like, yeah, this shouldn't be happening. And this fucking dude, man, Beth is distraught. She's losing her fucking mind because these are her animals, dude. These are her little power animals, and they've been murdered with some sort of horrific paralytic compound by a squirrel serial killer. And this dude picks up the squirrel bodies and starts throwing them away in a fucking hefty bag. It's a fucking black trash bag out of his car. And even the cop has to go, dude, You serious? And he's like, well, what do you want me to do with them? He's like, get a fucking box, man. Have a little fucking respect for this lady's state. And then we're just gonna burn him anyway. And he's like, dude, shut the fuck up. I have to deal with this. So the lady and the lady that came out, this fucking Good Samaritan, older classy lassie, she came down and they just basically badgered this police officer into filing a report about it. And being that my girlfriend's friend Beth works at the paper, she actually knows some people that she could use to like look up the criminal records or the police reports, and she had one of the people over there at the Courier Journal downtown look up the police report to ensure that it had been filed. And it had been, and they looked it up by date and time, and the police report just said like responded to report of distraught woman worried about unknown man poisoning squirrels in neighborhood. And like basically fucking nothing else. And we have to assume that this doesn't have a happy ending. The squirrel serial killer remains at large. I got nothing on top of that. If you or your friends have any information that can lead to the arrest or capture or re-education of this fucking psychopath going around and murdering cute woodland critters, post something at the links below. Honestly, if you know anything about this kind of shit, let me know. But that's the end. That's the end of the squirrel serial killer story, and I hope you enjoyed it. After that, just some updates. I am writing. I am always writing. I'm still working on that thing we can't talk about with Hike Uday from the Ord and Ale podcast. And he's a fucking wonder to work with. But we're just doing some cool stuff, and I'm really excited about that project. We've gotten way more of that finished since last time I talked to you guys. Pretty sure another like 7,500 words. And I'll probably be writing 1 or 2 more episodes going into September, and then that's going to be done for the first season, and then hopefully it should be out, I think, sometime in October. I have no idea. If you're a fan of the Dark Topic podcast, Jack Luna has a little bit more on top of that shit. I really don't care too much about what happens with it, as long as it turns into money. It's a job to me. But a wonderful job and an opportunity. It's a great opportunity. It's a fucking incredible opportunity. So incredible that I try to do a bad Richard Nixon impersonation. But what else? I'm going to start doing some more videos and stuff. I'm going to come back. I think instead of doing a interview series, because I did some of the logistics on that, and it's going to be a pain in the ass, and I don't want to fucking have to reliably drum people up to talk to them once a month, especially considering I'm not famous and no one gives a fuck who I am, except for like 5 people I'm friends with in the podcasting community. And that means I'd have to pack it in with people I don't respect, whose art I don't care about, and those people exist. This is gonna sound crazy, but all podcasts are not good, and this is a community full of people that are successful despite having no discernible talent and not a single quality fucking episode in their podcast. It's a stunning revelation, I know. But I would hate to like just, burn up all my stuff, and then you have to be one of those interviewers like you hear on the drive home radio stations. I know some of you have listened to those, and that's why you listen to podcasts now, because drive home FM radio is the fucking bane of my existence. Oh, we're on now with Marky Mark from Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. It's been a while, Mark. What are you working on now? Yeah, I got a movie called Shooter coming out. It's going to be the best movie about snipers since that Tom Berenger movie, Sniper. Oh, well, that just sounds fucking incredible. I can't wait to go sit down with my family. Well, it's not a family movie. I knew that. I knew that. I knew that going in. And then just fucking an hour of that shit. It drives me nuts. And I would hate to be that guy that has to try to pretend like I give a fuck about some shit I don't give a fuck about. I can't do it. I can't fucking do it. I can't lie. I'm a terrible liar. I think that's why my fiction's good. Because because I take it too seriously and I let my delusions run away with me. And then I don't bullshit anybody about it. And then somehow that turns into prose. Who fucking knows? Maybe I'm a talentless hack too. I never discount that. And as a matter of fact, I think about it a lot. I stare at myself in the mirror. I tell myself to quit. And then I don't. And then we get more podcasts. So that's great. Yeah. So anyway, I went on a very long tangent off of that. But basically, I'm going to start doing some videos that are just going to be about, just talking about fiction, and it's going to be the same format. I'm going to have my rabbit right here. I'm going to have my destroyed sound dampeners behind me in my wall that's covered in duct tape and gummies for another 2 weeks, if I make another video before then, because we're moving. I bought a house. Yeah. And Upside Down Cat, who is going to be here for another 3 days until August, and then it's going to be, you know what? You've got to tune in to find out what's going to be on the calendar next month. That's your impetus for tuning back in. Fuck my content. Fuck everything I have to say. If you want to find out who replaces Upside Down Cat, better tune in. All right. Pretty much that's it. Everything for next season is still on track and ready to come out. Some other stuff's going to be happening. I think August. 6th or 7th, whatever the first Friday is in August. Oh shit, that would be this weekend. So no, probably the 3rd or 4th Friday in August, whatever's in the middle of it. Look forward to that being the next, the first mini-sode of the summer mini-sodes. And I can't even really call them summer mini-sodes anymore because my break doesn't take place in summer. It starts in the fucking middle of summer. So early fall mini-sodes, whatever. I don't fucking know. I've been talking too long. It's 17 minutes. I love you guys. You're the best. Recommend my Patreon to other people and help me get some money so that I can buy delicious alcohols and I can wash my pains away with them. Don't drink, kids. It's bad for you. That said, stay safe out there. Much love.